President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, Holocaust denier, gay phenomenon denier, Dulce Rodriguez of Iran. We'll see all about that today on The Foreign Report. Let's do it. Welcome to The Foreign Report, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Seena Ghaznavi from an undisclosed location that is not my home or the studio in Los Angeles. With us in the virtual studio is Travis Irvine. Wow. We're going to bring you your weekly geopolitics in a very short and condensed fashion because I'm in it over here. And so we need to get things moving, Travi. How you doing?
I'm good. It's an early morning show for us, which is obviously rare. We're usually recording in the afternoon Pacific time, but I'm going to call this a Sam Elliott edition of the show, where we both have, because when you wake up in the morning, your voice is a lot deeper, like Sam Elliott. So, it's going to be a slower Sam Elliott show. Buckle up, buckaroos.
Should we just start smoking Marlboro Reds so we sound like more?
You haven't
raspy?
been chain smoking Marlboro Reds? I've been chain smoking Marlboro Reds since I started working on this show.
You have to share your tips. If you get a good pro tip like that, you got to share it with a brother.
Buddy, I sleep outside and I fall asleep with a cigarette in my mouth.
There you go.
Which apparently is very dangerous for forest fires. But and then I wake up and I finish it. So there you go. Sam Elliott reporting for duty.
He doesn't waste any time. Travis, I want to play you a clip to start this little segment off about every Iranian's favorite president, Ahmadinejad. And by the way, a lot of people say Ahmadinejad. It's Ahmadinejad. Ahmadinejad.
Yeah, and can we get a little context of this guy? Because I remember this guy's name from the Bush-Cheney years. I mean, this guy, him and like Hugo Chavez of Venezuela were like buddy. But I haven't heard anything from him in like 20 years.
Exactly. Let's start with just a quick clip from one of my favorites. This is when he was at Columbia University speaking. Your alma mater.
My alma mater.
Yes, and he was there in 2007. I remember watching this live when I lived in New York on like New York One or whatever they broadcasted on. It was so infuriating.
Criminals and drug smugglers. The question was about sexual preference and women.
مطلقا ما در ایران اولا همجنسباز
in Iran we don't have homosexuals like in your country.
Everyone
we
laughing.
Don't have that in our country.
Wow.
Some booze. And Ahmadinejad is kind of like,
in Iran,
okay.
We do not have this phenomenon. I don't know who's told you that we have it.
I don't know who's told you. Everyone's cracking up.
But as for women, maybe you think that being a woman is a crime. It's not a crime to be a woman. Women are the best
Okay, and then he goes on to do the whole, like, this is why we make them cover up, because we worship women so much. We care about them so much.
Oh, that's why. Wow.
In that same speech, he didn't fully deny the Holocaust, but he did say, why can't we ask questions about the Holocaust?
I do remember that.
Why, I'm just a guy. I'm just a academic guy just trying to learn about the Holocaust. How many people were killed in the Holocaust? Who knows?
Oh my God! Right. Not you. You're not saying that. You're doing your impression of Ahmadinejad, which I am saying incorrectly. But yeah, I remember that. What a great comedy routine! I remember that whole thing and just people cracking up at the entire performance. I mean, what else can you call it besides a performance?
It was crazy. He went on he did a whole hour.
He did Caroline's later that night. Great comedy club. Sold out, I believe.
So why are we talking about President Ahmadinejad or former President Ahmadinejad?
20 years later.
The New York Times just dropped a very big investigation, and I'm very wary of the New York Times in general, except when they do like a full investigation on something. Most of their like day-to-day reporting, I always like grain of salt, maybe a handful of salt. Because I
have a grain full of salt on their obituaries. I'm like, hold on a second. You can't say that about William F. Buckley, but they do. So,
and so they came out with a whole investigation that the U.S. and Israel literally plotted to jailbreak Ahmadinejad because he was on house arrest, basically, and make him the new face of Iranian leadership after Operation Epic Fury started.
wow.
Yeah. And if you missed it, we'll break down the big points of it. But if you remember, when the war started, there was this airstrike that hit the Narmak district in Tehran, and it was right outside of Ahmadinejad's house. And at the time, I even thought, wow, they tried to kill Ahmadinejad too. Like, yeah, because this is also a guy that said very often, we need to get rid of Israel, like wipe Israel off the face of the earth.
Right. I remember him saying that. Yeah.
So I assume Netanyahu was like, let's get rid of this guy. Like, if we're going to be killing everybody, let's kill them too. But what is actually the truth is more of a sci-fi comedy of errors world that I didn't even think was possible. They literally thought they could free him by airstriking the security group, that the checkpoint that was guarding his house. Let's just think about why they would want to do this in the first place. Now,
right. And I assume it's not a similar situation with Nicolas Maduro, where the only casualties in that operation to arrest Maduro and haul him out were people who were guarding his house or soldiers guarding his house. Were they going to pull him out too and be like, you're in charge now? Like,
what it seems to be is that they thought when they bombed everything, Ahmadinejad would come out and be like, my people, I am here to take over your government. Your Islamic Republic government brought this hell fury, this epic fury down upon you. I will be your populist savior. Wow. And they thought that he would come in, get on the mic, and do a tight 22 minutes, and then
play all the hits. Gay people aren't real.
Yeah.
Women are so great. We need to cover them up and not show them to everyone. All the hits from 20 years ago. It's classic routines.
But I guess like why when I was even reading like, oh, I didn't really realize he was on house arrest, and then I looked, I was like, oh wow, oh of course, right. His whole and all the presidents that have any sort of like sway, because the president in Iran has no actual power. They can like make a holiday, but they can't really do anything. The way they're able to leverage power is by the relationships they forge with the IRGC and or the clergy. And so Ahmadinejad, whereas once he was favored by the IRGC and members of the clergy, eventually fell out with them. After he left office, he started getting on the outs with Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. And so he started calling them the ruling elite, that they were corrupt. And then he really, truly rebranded himself as this populist champion of the poor. And as a result, he got blocked for running in future elections.
Oh, no.
So they see this, they're like, oh, interesting. And one of the things we've actually talked about on this show was the Shah's son, Reza Pahlavi. It was just never going to be him. We didn't know who, but one of the things we did say was it's got to be someone within the regime, within the country, that could gain the trust of the people, that could also gain the trust of whatever's left of the regime and the IRGC, so that they can follow somebody, so that they can trust. Now, Ahmadinejad is like that guy. 100%.
He checks the box. Yeah, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Exactly. He checks all of those boxes. Here's the one box he doesn't check is the Iranian public.
That's a big box. That's a big box.
An entire revolution started in 2009 when his re-election occurred, and everyone was like, no, fuck this guy. We're going to go out in the streets. And then they got killed again in the streets. And they're like, okay, we're going to go back into our houses now and deal with whatever's happening. But the vast majority of Iranians never liked this guy. And so when this comes out that they wanted to make him the president, it's like, okay, yes, I am drowning, right? Please, someone save me. The hand that comes in to save me pulls me out of the water, and it's Ahmadinejad. And I'm like, no, put me back in the water. Put me back in the water. Put me back in the water.
I don't want out of this water.
But so far, okay, and I just want to say, like, obviously this failed. And the reason it failed, because, again, this show has shown me how everything that we talk about ends up coming back up again, and all the things that we like, you know what I mean? It's not even that it's just like it just constantly repeats itself. These like little cycles. Who would have thought Israel's precision airstrikes weren't as precise as they should have been? The reason this really flopped is because the airstrikes not only killed the checkpoint of IRGC guys that were keeping him on house arrest, but they ended up wounding his own bodyguards, damaging the area and himself so badly that he immediately soured on the entire concept and scheme. It was like, nah, man, I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. Now that a real bomb fell and like it almost killed me, I'm like, no. This is a little too. I thought it was going to be a little cuter, a little more neat. No. Sorry.
Man, this is like, in Rambo when they're trying to recruit him to go back in. We need you again. But then they just murder his whole family. And then, well, I guess I have to now. Maybe no.
Can we do it all the way this time? No, you really can't. You can't. We're just going to do it the way that ruins everything. All right, so let's just real quick timeline, just so everyone has like the full context here, right?
So, give us the chronological, baby.
2013 to 2014. Ahmadinejad leaves office in 2013, and that's when he subsequently falls out with Ali Khamenei and the IRGC over who they appointed and some like allegations of corruption. Again, the two big pillars of power within the government, the IRGC and the clergy, you got to be in with one of them, right?
Right.
So again, he's barred from running for office again. And then if you can't run for office, you start doing media. And he starts talking about all these things, being an anti-establishment populist, and he's under de facto house arrest. Now, here's the thing that turns. In 2019, he does an interview where he publicly praises Donald Trump as a man of action and a businessman who understood transaction-based politics. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Is it could be that Donald Trump is the one that's been, what you'd say, hawkish on the Islamic Republic? Maybe currying favor, maybe letting people know?
I mean, anytime any foreign leader says anything about Donald Trump that's flattering, is because they want something from him.
Yes.
And that would be my first guess. Now, it is interesting to me there in the timeline, 2013 to 2014 to 2019. My question for you, sir, would be, why would Ahmadinejad's enemies within Iran not just take him out? I mean, why give him the pleasure of house arrest? I think they didn't want to make him a martyr, perhaps.
Yeah, I think they take that seriously, and it doesn't necessarily do them good. He must have some pull within the government still, where they kept him from just like blanketly snatching him off the chessboard, if you will.
Gotcha.
They've had other former presidents on house arrest. I remember Rafsanjani was on house arrest, and he was a big pro-government guy for a while back in the day. And so this is not an uncommon thing for them to do with former elected officials, right?
Gotcha. If you're president of Iran at some point, you should expect to also be on house arrest at some point.
You're going to say the wrong thing. So in January of 2026, we obviously know what happened there. The Iranian government started violently cracking down on the protests. The biggest, again, protests we've seen since 1979. Again, we're not going to get into how many thousands of people were killed in that protest because people that listen to the show like to try to figure out that they know the exact numbers. It's thousands. It's many thousands. Is it dozens of thousands? Is it many thousands instead of dozens of thousands, or is it dozens of thousands instead of many of thousands? It's thousands. They were being murdered. And again, I was thinking about this, like, okay, a lot of people also, I see people say like Israel started those things, but these protests have been happening for decades.
Right.
And if you've got, a bottle that you've shaken up, like a bottle of soda or whatever, it doesn't take much to just remove your finger from the top and have a lot of it start to spill out. So if you want to say that the Mossad agents did that, yeah, I mean, sure. This wasn't hard. It was still a bottle ready to burst at any point, right? And so in January, they killed thousands of people. And Donald Trump decided to, okay, let's start building up resources in the West Asian area outside the Persian Gulf, start pulling in. And so this plan was in motion, right? Something was in motion. There was trying to apply pressure, right? And I think this was like an escalation trap at the end of the day where they were bound to do something stupid, and they did. But
right. So perhaps instead of just a soda bottle being shaken, it was a Molotov cocktail, and then someone lit it. And then what happens? I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, no, definitely it won't burn or explode or smash. No, none of that. That could never happen. But in early February 2026, Ahmadinejad takes a rare and highly scrutinized trip to Hungary and Guatemala.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, so Western intelligence apparently took that as a window, and they successfully approached and consulted him about his willingness to step into the leadership vacuum if the theocracy were to collapse.
Ooh, and let's just say if. It's my favorite line in Clue when Colonel Mustard says, "If I was the killer, I'd kill you next." I said if.
Yeah. So if we happen to, I don't know, subvert the entire global economy and political infrastructure and cause a lot of death. Yeah.
Hypothetically.
Would you be down to step in? Could you fill in? Would that be, do you have availability?
Do you want that?
Yeah. Okay. February 28th, we all know Operation Epic Fury starts. They start bombing. They kill Ali Khamenei, several senior military leaders. Same day, day one, the airstrike hits Ahmadinejad's residence in the Narmak district. The operation is designed as a jailbreak to eliminate the IRGC security post protecting him. The checkpoint, again, totally destroyed. But Ahmadinejad gets injured and he gets scared.
Just cranking jailbreak music. There's so many good jailbreak songs. Tonight's gonna be a jailbreak. Just let's get our boy out of there.
They're like, all right, let's do it. And then he's like, oh no, nope. He was probably all excited. He's probably got his nice jacket and shirt on.
He's just cranking the jailbreak music like, tonight I'm out, I'm free. And then I guess his accomplices weren't as precise as we thought.
No. And this also goes back to so what happens now, right? Now we obviously are in this awful deal situation, which, by the way, we'll probably go into it next week more because I want to see if it really gets more solidified. But, high level, we're unfreezing a bunch of assets. I just saw an Iranian official yesterday said there's not going to be a toll, but we will ask for fees to manage the Persian Gulf and protect the environment. And it's like, this is the most Persian line ever. It's like, no, we don't want that, but we don't want it. No, don't call it a toll.
Don't call it a toll.
It's a navigation fee. That's all that is. It's we help you, you help us, buddy. Come on, it's hilarious. And Trump is he tore up the Iran deal. They're not even really talking about eliminating the nuclear program, just getting rid of the highly enriched stuff. Which, by the way, they always said they'll not be able to make a nuclear weapon. Remember, this bomb is not like quantum leap bomb. This is the Oppenheimer bomb. This is stuff that you could go on YouTube and figure out how to build. This is not something where you could just eliminate someone's ability to do this anymore. They could always do it again. This is it's just, you're not going to get rid of the knowledge. So again, in classic Trumpian fashion, he creates the chaos. He gets into the chaos and realizes this giant geopolitical bet is actually ruining markets and everything like that. So he says, okay, I will use diplomacy to solve the kinetic problem that I started. And then everyone's just like, hey, didn't you start this problem? And then he's going to be like, no, what are you talking about? They started the problem. This has been a problem for them from the beginning. Also Obama, also Biden, they did it. And then finally, when diplomacy eventually solves whatever problem, he started probably in not the way that, and it's actually in a worse way than we even started. He says it's the best deal ever, and that he's the
The
king.
best
No notes.
deal.
Perfect
Right.
deal.
Perfect deal. Trump diplomacy in 4 to 5 idiotic steps. And don't forget about the manic tweeting saying you're going to destroy and kill everyone if there's not a deal. I feel like that's part of the process too. Every time.
I feel like that's like between 3 and 4. It's just
it's like
this is how we do diplomacy.
Yeah. This is like step 3.5 before we get to it's going to be a great deal. It's I'm going to murder all of you.
Yeah, I'm going to wipe your civilization off the map, the ancient civilization of the Iranian people. Anyways, so this is what we're at now. And I think it's interesting to maybe just for a minute talk about what the Gulf countries are doing, because
there's so many other countries over there.
Yeah. They're seeing all this happen. They see this. I mean, they subscribe to the New York Times. They
listen to our show.
They listen. And the one threat that everyone had in their back pocket was Iran will behave because they're afraid of the United States doing some kinetic big attack against Iran. That'll keep Iran in check. Now that has totally failed, utter failure.
Did not happen.
I've said this on another show where this is like, I think, worse than Vietnam. I'm going to go back to that and say it again. I think this is the Vietnam of the modern era right now for us, because while we haven't lost as many troops, the strategic failure for our military is on par with Vietnam, right? I mean, the death toll
as a military failure, death toll for American soldiers way less, and the timeline we haven't been in Iran for nearly as long, but from a military strategic standpoint.
But Vietnam, it's like we haven't won a war since Vietnam. Like Vietnam, we lost, and then we just continued to lose after Vietnam.
Ooh, what about Iraqi freedom? Did we win that one?
Oh, buddy. Well, you can look at Iraqi freedom. We freed some Iraqis for a minute, but then we just gave it all to Iran. We as a power vacuum that Iran swallowed up.
And of course, I know we've talked about it in this show, but I've always have to remind myself that Saddam Hussein came to power in the 1980s because we wanted to prop a guy up to challenge Iran. And how did that go? He was our guy.
He definitely didn't use chemical weapons on the Kurds. Definitely not. He definitely didn't brutally murder his own citizens. No.
The nice thing is now him and Donald Rumsfeld can shake hands in hell.
Yeah, that is nice. He looked at him and he said, "You're a known." So this relationship we've had with the Gulf countries goes back to like FDR, where we basically said, "Hey, you guys have a lot of oil. We'll sell you and we'll give you our latest and greatest military technology. We'll help create a security blanket around you, because I know your big rival is Iran." But you also need general power and general protection because you have all this oil. But what you could do for us is you could just trade your oil in dollars. And that we call that the petrodollar.
Right.
And so, Travis, we could walk through a very basic supply and demand type thing here, right?
Sure.
If you have oil, everybody needs oil, and your oil is only traded in US dollars.
Right.
That globally.
Yeah.
That means every country needs US dollars to buy oil.
This is a good deal to control the global economy.
It's almost like the cornerstone of our global power is connected to the petrodollar, where every country has to have not just like a low balance of US dollars in their checking account. They need a lot. They need a reserve of US dollars so they can buy oil consistently to fund and power their economy. Every country.
Yeah, so it's the bedrock of the post-World War II economy.
And the deal that the Saudis and the other Gulf countries would say, okay, since we're doing all this, you guys give us protection. And especially after 1979, they were like, yeah, you guys need to make sure we're all good, because Islamic Republic is wild right now and they don't give a fuck about us.
Right. Is this when the organization known as OPEC kind of came about, or is that earlier in the whole scheme of things?
Yeah, OPEC was founded, I think, in the early 60s.
Okay.
And so this was part of that trajectory, right? Where they knew they had a precious resource that everyone needed, and it needs protection. You need a bouncer. You need security. Like when you and I go out in public, we need security. It's the same thing.
Everyone's just like, oh my God, I love your show.
Yeah, they try to grab Travis's beard and they just kind of swing on his neck a little bit.
Everyone thinks it's fake. They want to rip it off. I'm like, it's real.
Folks, it is fake. Try to rip it off. When you see him, try to rip it off.
I'll see you in Cleveland this weekend, folks. Come rip off my beard. I'm the Ohio-tola.
And then one of the other things, again, talked about, man, things coming full circle. The other thing we always talk about is how a lot of the moves that Trump has made is to try to thwart Chinese, power and China kind of like coming up, right?
Right.
Nothing has given the Chinese more of a win than the weakening of the petrodollar, because they can step in and be like, we're not going to critique anything you do. We don't care about any sort of moral compass that you as a country would have or whatever. We're cold, hard, controlled communist capitalists, and we will protect you in a better way than the United States has. And Iran likes us better, so why don't you just trade in our currency? And that is a very real possibility.
Ooh, and don't forget, as we've also covered on this show, the only one who's getting oil out of Iran right now is China, because the U.S. is like seeing that, oh, this oil is going to China, but it's like, well, you can't do anything now, can you? You can't. Or you're going to go bomb a Chinese boat? That'd be even worse.
Would be even worse. So now we're in this point where we're going to hand billions of dollars potentially to the Iranians, and then also someone's going to pay them fees. The strait that was, by the way, closed is still closed as of now. But when it's opened, it's going to be managed, which means you have to pay the manager to run the place.
But it's not a toll, it's a fee.
Yeah, the enriched uranium is going to be, I don't know, diluted or something. We'll see if that even ends up happening or how it's getting pushed, but it's not going to stop their nuclear program at all. All their proxies are still left in place. The Lebanon war is going to stop. Everything about all this stuff. It's just the biggest losing deal you could possibly imagine. 10, 15.
High fives, high tens for everybody. We did it.
Perfect
what a
deal. No
everybody.
notes.
No notes.
Wow. All right. Well, that was just a quick rundown of that. I mean, I thought I didn't have much to talk about when I came to this, but here we are.
No, I mean, well, and then to bring it full circle back to Ahmadinejad, what's he doing now? He just chilling at home still?
Yeah, I guess so. He's just chilling at home. He's probably on the Reddit forums like, man, this really spiraled out.
I mean, he's got to get on the phone with the freaking Chinese. Be like, yo, put me in charge. Let's go.
He's called Israel. He's like, you promised you wouldn't tell anybody. Oh,
I got the New York Times calling me right now.
I'm so canceled. Yeah. So he's very upset about everything that's happening. And who knows, now he might get snatched, but we'll see what happens. All right. Let's take a quick break, and we're just going to go right to the old JD Vance Corner. When we come back, this is the Foreign Report. I'm Seena Ghaznavi for Travis Irvine. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Foreign Report. I'm Seena Ghaznavi. This is your weekly foreign policy show. Travis Irvine in the virtual studio.
Go Cavs. Go Cavs.
We just talked a lot about Ahmadinejad. Oh, yes. Go Cavs.
No, they lost. They're done. The season's over. Yeah. This is where I get to switch because I lived in New York for 9 years.
How convenient. How convenient.
Now I just get to root for the Knicks, baby. Let's go. But hey, Cavs had a great season. Also, I did want to I know you don't read the comments, Seena, but a lot of our British listeners, they've been doing a lot of great commenting. And yes, it was revealed that I am an Arsenal fan. I am a Gunner. And the Arsenal, the Gunners, they just won the Premier League, baby. So now it's off to the Champions League. If they can win that, that's a great way to go into the World Cup, which is, by the way, I think we should do a show in the World Cup at some point this summer. It's the world's game, Seena. We need a lighter show. Let's talk about Tunisia, Ecuador playing each other in football, the world sport. All right, not fighting.
Not fighting. Okay, I'm down with that. That sounds like a great idea. I would love to do something like that. That's a little bit lighter than we'll just talk about the corruption of FIFA.
FIFA, yeah, that also needs to be mentioned. You're right. And then you and I can just stand outside games being played in LA and how no one can afford the tickets. It's like so expensive. But
I tried to get tickets to all these things and I can't. It's insane.
I couldn't even get tickets to Bolivia versus Senegal. I don't know. I'm just naming random countries at this point. I don't know who's in the book.
All right. Well, let's go into everyone's favorite section.
Give him a chance. It's JD Vance. No, wait, he sucks.
Club Remix, ladies and gentlemen. Club Remix, ladies and gentlemen. I am so, man, I know you said you had nothing to talk about, but you know what? I also had nothing to talk about, which means I got something I got to talk about. This whole war that's not a war, Seena. It's just absolutely, as we say every week, foreign policy is domestic policy. Domestic policy is foreign policy. JD, as we covered last week, has been fully on the domestic front. He doesn't travel abroad in any of these deals. He doesn't go to China. He doesn't. His job is to explain the shit show to the average American worker. And, buddy, you want to talk about double talk? You want to talk about words that aren't real words? JD Vance, this is so bonkers, man. This is just a good roundup of what he's got to do. Do you remember when Trump said on camera that he doesn't care that Americans are suffering? He doesn't care what people think of him. The direct quote, and it's on video, is Trump said, "The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran is they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all." That's Trump's ethos. Well, guess what? JD was asked about that. And you want to know what he said?
Oh, I have a feeling I know what he said.
Yeah, take a wild guess.
I think he said he didn't mean it like that.
You know what? You're so close. You know, it's even worse. It's even worse. He said, "I don't think the president said that." That's a misrepresentation of what the president said. And it's not. It's exactly what Trump said.
All right.
So that's opening salvo. And then this
Perfect.
is some fun stuff. He was in Kansas City. He's highlighting, we got all the gerrymandering going on and redistricting where Republicans are so nervous about losing the House of Representatives that they are now changing the congressional districts in the middle of the decade, right? It's supposed to be every 10 years that we reshape and reform our congressional districts. JD went to Missouri to just talk about how this administration is really investing in the American worker. Seena, right? You know that, right? You're aware that,
of course,
that this administration, the war is helping. The gas prices are going down from where they
middle
were.
class is booming. By booming, I mean exploding and being destroyed.
That's right. And of course, I mean, oh man, this is so rich. I just saw this. This is, again, I'm giving you an around the grounds here. JD being dispatched to Kansas City to lie to people's faces. Do you know what they changed the name of the One Big Beautiful Bill? Remember that last summer? One Big Beautiful Bill?
They changed the name?
Yes, because of marketing, Seena. As any good marketing person knows, you can't just call a bill the One Big Beautiful Bill anymore, even though that's what it was called for the entirety of last summer, and that's what Trump called it, so that's what they named it. No, they had to change the name. It's now the Working Families Tax Cut Act.
Oh my God.
I know. Did you just throw up in your mouth? Did you just throw up in your mouth?
How did I miss this? This is crazy.
I just missed it too, and now that's what it's called. And
wait, say that again. Say it again.
Buddy, it is called the Working. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm trying not to throw up. It's called the Working Families Tax Cut Act. That's what they're calling it, dude. And this is the same One Big Beautiful Bill that cut food assistance, cut Medicaid, Medicare, cut all these social safety net programs by $1 trillion, and then gave $1 trillion tax cut to the richest 1% of Americans.
But those are job creators. Those tax cuts create jobs.
That's right. It's the trickle-down economic factor, Seena, and nothing trickles down harder when the rich billionaire class is peeing all over you. We know that. We know that from all the videos we've seen on the internet.
Yeah, nothing trickles harder than a champagne pyramid.
Exactly. You get it. So anyway, JD had this quote, and it just kind of blows my mind. Again, foreign policy is domestic policy, vice versa. He says, "I hate to say it, ladies and gentlemen, it is not the Democrat Party that my mama and papa belong to." He's always got to bring out mama. nothing connects harder than a Mamaw reference, right? So JD is saying that. He says it's not the Democrat Party that was patriotic and believed in supporting working people. It's the Democrat Party that's been given over, unfortunately, to a lot of crazy people. So this is going to be the election message for the next few months here on the domestic front.
It's crazy.
I know. It's getting a little bonkers, but again, this is what JD does. And so I have one more, and this is an actual clip that went viral. This thing, I mean, it went even more viral than when Trump said he doesn't care about people, and then JD was like, he didn't say that. JD is getting put on these press conferences. Doesn't matter if it's Kansas City or the briefing room at the White House. Can we play this clip from Instagram? This is a full-fledged clip, and we can pause and interrupt as we see fit. But this is JD getting an actual very intelligent question. Now, I do have a problem sometimes when a reporter takes a long time to ask a question. I've been in situations and press conferences where it's like, hey, man, we're all trying to ask questions here. But the important thing is how JD reacts to it and then doesn't answer the question anyway, even when it is asked. This clip has gone absolutely viral. Let's roll this beautiful bean footage.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The president's financial disclosures were released recently, and they showed a lot of stock trades in companies that he has talked up at events, official events at the White House, on his True Social account, sometimes even putting the stock ticker symbols in his
doesn't mean anything by that.
encouraging people to buy their stock. Americans, according to recent polling, are increasingly describing the president as corrupt. And trading stocks.
This is a hell of a question.
Thank you.
Hell of a question.
Trading individuals.
I like how he said thank you. He's like, no, thank you. Yeah, it is a hell of a question.
No, thank you. It is. It's about to be a hell of a question for you.
Corrupt son of a bitch.
Stocks is something that you said that public officials should not be able to do when you ran for Senate all those years ago. And
here's where the reporter makes a mistake, though. You don't use JD's past words against him because they mean nothing. He doesn't care.
But this is where I think the reporter finally turned it and got it right, because JD's trying to be like, hey, your questions are getting too long. But here's where it's like, hey, you ran for Senate. You said politicians shouldn't be doing this shit, bro. So eventually he's going to ask, well, what do you got to say about that?
Yet the president, who arguably has access to more non-public information than your average senator, is not only buying and selling individual stocks either through his trust.
Okay. What's the question?
The question is, the question, sir, is how can you and your administration argue to Americans that you're cleaning up corruption, you're preventing fraud, you're fighting the sorts of things that harm people and people's financial situations, when the president seems to be talking up stocks that he owns, selling them, and enriching himself?
Okay, so here, let me answer your question here.
Okay, he's going to answer.
Before I answer your question, I want to just observe there are different ways to ask a question. Okay, you could just ask a question, try to get your answer, or you could do like a speech where you say, Mr. Vice President, you're a terrible human being.
Well, yes, you are, though.
You are. That's not what the guy said, but he did make a good case of why you are.
Yeah, it did. And it also, I think you're telling on yourself by saying that.
And so is the president, so is the entire cabinet. And then I'm like, what's your question? And then your question is, how dare you? Come on, man. Have a little bit of objectivity in the way that you ask these questions, because there were a lot of things in that speech masquerading as a question that didn't actually get asked, okay?
Boom. All right.
No
Cut
answer.
it off. No answer. Gave no answer. And you know what he did? He took the cheap route. He did the Stephen A. Smith thing. Come on, man. I mean, Barack Obama was able to do that. Barack Obama was able to take Stephen A. Smith's words and say, come on, man, at a press conference and have it work and be funny. But JD don't got that riz. He don't have that swagger. He doesn't have the Stephen A. Smith delivery.
This man has no moral fiber to stand on at all.
Oh, buddy.
Nothing. He's got no backbone. I think Marco's going to take this thing snatch it right from him. I don't know what he thinks he's doing. Everything time he comes out, he just tries to blanketly defend whatever the president does.
Yes, exactly. And that's why, as Marcus Park said on our show, and as we've covered for over a year now, JD Vance will be the fall guy for this administration.
Yeah.
Because he keeps, I just gave 3 examples of him having to go out and defend the policies of this administration. Foreign policy becomes domestic policy. How do you sell this to the American people? Buddy, it ain't even working. And you can say the reporters are asking long, stupid questions, but it doesn't take away from the actual factual point that they are making. And that this is one of the most corrupt, inept administrations at the same time.
Oh my God. Well, thank you for that. Thank you, Travis Irvine. That was a fantastic JD Vance Corner. What a monster this guy is.
But don't worry, he's got a mama and a papa. Don't forget about that. I'm just like you. I got a mama and a papa. Also, I like that he admitted that his mama and papas were Democrats. It's just like,
it's not the ones that used to get. I get it. There's a lot of centrist Dems. There's a lot of Dems that don't stand up for working class people anymore. But
who's he referring to? The FDR years? FDR is a very popular president.
We'll see. Oh my God. Well, short show for everyone today. Sorry, I'm in transit, but next week we'll be back with some more beefy stuff here. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter. Make sure you sign up, hit us up on the socials. For Travis Irvine, I'm Seena Ghaznavi. This is the Foreign Report. We'll see you guys next week.